Hey everyone, good evening and welcome. So I can see that people are tuning in and the room is filling up. In fact, I didn't send the details of tonight's call to my email list. I have a email list of a couple of thousand of people who have subscribed to our communication in 2024 and 2023. So I decided, you know what? Let's first do our first one just with people who are actively following and watching the journey. So it will be interesting to get feedback from you guys as well. So then I will obviously include the rest of the family on the next one. However, let us hear where people are tuning in from tonight. Let me just close this computer in front of me. Let's hear in the chat where people are tuning in from. Let's see in the chat. So Cape Town is in the house. Shelley Beach, KZN is in the house. Another Cape Town, Durban. So yeah, two from Cape Town, two from Durban. Gauteng is in the house as well. Zambia in the house. UK, awesome, awesome. Riyadh. So Vredenburg, Riga. So over, people are tuning in from all over the country as well as abroad. So Emily, I'm excited for tonight's call, but I also want to keep it very short but very informative. So if you are here for the first time, if you are here for the very first time, put a two in the comments. So let's see who's here for the first time. So I see a couple of tools flowing in, couple of tools flowing in. Awesome stuff. So tonight's call, I'm going to, by the best of my ability, share with you the information that we have gathered over the last 10 years and break it down in simple layman terms on how one could, number one, how one can actually get started in this industry and why you should actually get started in this industry. And then lastly, is it actually going to benefit you and your family? So for those who don't know me, Lucian Godfrey is the name. And I started on this journey back in 2016. I was working as an Uber driver. And back then I was still living in a squatter camp. What is the Afrikaans word for a squatter camp? If anyone can share with me in the chat, or in your language, what is the term for a squatter camp? Any language. So yes, informal settlement is another term for it. Yes. So I was driving Uber for another lady, and I was living in an informal settlement. And yeah, so I obviously wanted change, and that is exactly what tonight's call is about. So I'm going to try and explain in layman terms what I wish someone could have done for me back when I got started about a decade ago. So, without further ado, let me share my screen and then share with you this amazing opportunity. There we go. Okay, so NMS is our company, and myself, I'm the founder, myself and my wife. And alongside us, we have a team. Some of you have met Ilana Phyllis. Uh, they are here. Normally, when you speak to support, then it will be her that you are speaking to. Then it's also my wife, and then Kellen, which is obviously also working within the company. So within various holes. Now, when I found myself back in 2016, I was working as a courier driver on weekdays, and on weekends, I was working as an Uber driver. And I felt that I'm working too many hours. Not that I'm lazy, but I was working too many hours. And being a husband, being a father, I just couldn't juggle everything. So if you are here and you feel that, you know what, you are working too many hours, then please put a three in the comments. If you feel that, you know what, I would love to actually work less hours. So put a three in the comments. Let's just see if there's others that are feeling that way now, the way I felt back when I got started. So I can see that there are obviously others also who are feeling the same. So that was the feeling that I had, and I was actively looking what I could actually do to actually change my reality. And I did some research and I realized that assets is always increasing in value. So remember, I still had to buy a house, I had to buy a car, I had to buy all of these kind of things. And these assets, they were always increasing in value. So, but when I looked at the money, it would always lose value. So then I got very intrigued in terms of how people are actually storing their wealth. So I was working, like I said, many hours, and the money was just never enough. Then I decided to make a sacrifice. Someone approached me in 2016, told me about cryptocurrency, and then I only knew about Bitcoin. And back then, one Bitcoin was like 7,000 rand. And today, many of you may know that Bitcoin is over 2 million rand. So it's not a missed opportunity. Yes, maybe for Bitcoin, but there are many other cryptocurrencies now that one can actually get for way less than 7,000 rand. But back then, when I got started, just as an Uber driver, I could only get started with 1,000 rand. So I couldn't afford to buy a full Bitcoin back then because I mean, money was tight at the time. So not long ago, I met the person and he said, Luciano, I remember you wanted to introduce me to Bitcoin, and I told you that I'm not interested in it. And the person is actually proud that they made that decision, and they have they didn't actually, in fact, they didn't show any regret. They're fine with the decision that they've made. So it's perfectly fine if this is not for you. But I couldn't understand because you don't have to actually make crypto your profession. It's basically just buying an asset that appreciates in value instead of currency that is constantly losing value. So I knew that I had to make a sacrifice. Now, I remember back then working as an Uber driver, I always had more month than money, but still I needed to make a decision and make a sacrifice because I knew if I'm not going to make a sacrifice, I'm going to be struggling for a lifetime. And I still remember when I would want to actually, whilst I was working, I would when I would get hungry, I would go to the restaurant and or to the drive-thru, maybe KFC or so, and I would want to buy some food. Let's say Statewide stew of 32 and I would get there and decide, you know what, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna work another 1, 2 more hours and go and eat at home. So all that small sacrifices, it added up. So when people look at us now, when we are traveling the world or we are buying certain things, then they kind of think that it started off that way. However, I explained in my book, I launched my book NFT Millionaire Secret back in 2000 and towards the end of 2023, and I explained to people how I started as an Uber driver, and within my book you can read my story, how I worked as an Uber driver, and how and the main strategies that I've used in order to be able to achieve what I've achieved up until today. And we are in the process of writing a revised version of it because so many of our clients have also been getting the very same results. So in order to include them in there as well. And the strategies, it's still 100% the same. However, the trends do change, and that is what I am going to be discussing here tonight because what have been trending back then and what's trending now is maybe different. However, the strategies, it still stays the same. So it will always obviously be relevant. So I explained in the book how I was able to achieve these results, and there are many testimonials within the book as well as on our website. So when, like I said, when people start seeing us now, as we are traveling the world, here is us actually being in Thailand, and yeah, a couple of our good friends, and this is us traveling whilst we were in Hong Kong, China. So, and it is this industry that have afforded us to be able to do this. I put this here because it made me think back of when I got started. I remember I didn't have my own car, I didn't have my own house, and now looking back, it is this industry that have helped me to be able to, like I said, do these things, travel, and also we just acquired a second piece of property, and we are planning to actually do that on a yearly basis. However, this wouldn't have been possible, firstly, without God, and then secondly, without actually taking action in this industry. So, like I said, yes, not everyone is going to be willing to actually take action, but at the end of the day, we are sharing an opportunity, and it's upon the person to actually make a decision. So, when I started to actually get the results from this industry, I then bought myself some Ubers, and then I realized afterwards, you know what, Ubers is not working out, and then I bought some NFTs in crypto, and that turned into a large amount of money. And then I wrote the book NFT Millionaire Secret, explaining people how we actually did it. But that has put me in a position to get my credit score great, and now we are able to acquire assets. So if you guys are also interested in building a portfolio, so whether it is real estate or acquiring assets, please put a 4 in the comments. Let's see if there are like-minded people here who, okay, there we go. So all of this was possible because of a good credit score. So now even there's actually even a strategy that you could be acquiring a house every 6 months. But if you want to take less risk, you can even do it in every year, every 2 years, every 5 years, depending on your appetite for risk. But at the end of the day, like I said, it all starts with getting a good credit score. So this has put me in a position to be able to do that. And within our academy, we teach this very same strategy. So when you see the testimonials, that is of members that have joined our academy, and that is members who have joined our inner circle. So that you can find, that is actually our website that you are seeing in front of you. So you can go to that website and then join our inner circle. In fact, one of the support members will even put the direct link there as well. But if you are able to just type it in, then you will be able to get to our website and have the option of joining our inner circle. Let's proceed. Now, within the academy, this is some of the posts that you will see there, besides the training that will show you exactly how you can keep your cryptocurrency safe, for instance, like what is the difference between a wallet, what is an exchange, all the nitty-gritty, all of the stuff that is confusing people, so that you can actually find right there. So here you can see one of the members sharing how they were able to, their portfolio was able to increase with 326,000 in 1 week. And then obviously there are different posts where you can learn from, like Yvonne sharing her knowledge as well, being a member for a number of years. So in there you are able to mingle with the people that you see in the testimonial videos, etc. So the idea is to find a way to make or be able to generate revenue or make money whilst you are actually not actively working, or whilst you are sleeping. So I know to some people it's like they are not they don't even think it's possible. In fact, I didn't think that it's possible because because I was basically diving, and I would know that if I'm not diving, I'm not going to earn money. But as soon as I was introduced to business, I realized, you know what, there's businesses that I've built like many years ago, and those businesses are still paying me now, even though for like 10 years I'm not working on it, but they are still paying me for the work that I've done there. And that is one of the things that we actually wish for all of our members to actually be able to achieve. So time is always going to pass. So I try and break my life up into 5 years. So I set, yes, I do set short-term goals, but I set bigger goals, 5-year goals, whether it's a degree, whether it is acquiring 10 houses, or whether it is acquiring, yeah, so depending on which goals it is, it will obviously determine on how long. But the point that I want to bring is that time will always pass. So if you can find a way to generate revenue whenever time passes, then you are on the right track. So, but as time passes, we know that expenses goes along with it, and that is why I believe in building a portfolio is actually what gives freedom. It's not so much about the money, but yes, having money, it's vitally important, especially the fact that we are living in a materialistic world. But it is more about time freedom, because when you have your time back and you can do what you want, when you want, not that you are not going to contribute towards this world anymore. Maybe you want to go out and actually help people rehabilitate, or you want to help, for instance, within your neighborhood, or where you used to live. Maybe you moved out of the where you were, the suburbs, but you still want to give back. So those kind of things, it obviously needs money. So this is what I've put myself in a position to be able to do that. And I'm sure that many of you also want to do the same. So if the first person that can put in the chat what the website is to join the inner circle will get themselves 250 Rand. Let's see who goes first. There we go, Arns. Arns, you are getting yourself 250 Rand support. Can you direct message Arns? And then I think it's Karen Arns, I'm not sure. But contact Arns, Arns, sir. And then, yeah, congratulations, Arns. You have yourself, you just won yourself 250 Rand. For actually paying attention. So yeah, not that the others are not, but you were first to obviously put it there. So put in the chat, what are some of the goals that you guys are looking to achieve? What are some of the goals that you are looking to achieve? Okay, financial freedom is a bit vague, because, but I understand what you guys are trying to say. So, yeah, so because financial freedom to one person would be 500,000, financial freedom to a next person would have to be 10 million. Yeah, another person said debt free, financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. Improve quality of life 100%. I want to be a millionaire. Guys, you know what? Back in the, I used to feel bad about, another person says, publishing their book. I used to feel bad when I would say, you know what, I want to be a millionaire. But both the properties that we have acquired cost over 1 million. So these days, you can't actually move to the suburbs without actually or buy a house for less than 1 million. So I would almost say it's a necessity for one to actually become a millionaire, and not that 1 million is that enormous amount of money, or it's out of reach. Because if you look at, yeah, if you look at the fact that it doesn't have that much value that it used to have back in the like, let's say in the 80s, the 70s, or the 2000s, because someone explained to me how their house that they bought for 180,000 rand quite a number of years ago. 180,000 rand, they bought a house in the suburbs, and currently that house has a value of more than 2 million, close to 2 million actually. So that is why it's important, when I realized this, it's important to acquire assets, because these assets continue to increase in value. So then I obviously delved quite deep into it. Someone says 2025 to make 350K. Fantastic. I'm going to screenshot that. I love people putting out a goal and putting a number to it and a date, because that then is not just a wish, it's basically a goal. So there's steps that you can follow in order to get there. So I screenshotted that. I definitely want to speak to Linda Courtly. So yeah, so let's proceed, because the reason why I did that is not that the others are not important, the other goals, but it is a clear goal. So I read this book, Homeless to Billionaire. Homeless to Billionaire. I hope you guys can see it. And in here, Andreas teaches exactly how one can actually acquire or get your goal. So it teaches goal setting. And the number one thing is to understand first what you want to achieve. If I say financial freedom, if I ask God now to be financially free, he would be so confused, because what does it mean to be financially free? But if I say, give me 350K within this time, then he knows exactly what I want to achieve. So in here, it teaches how, in fact, he went from homeless, and currently he is one of the richest people in Bangkok, in Thailand. So he obviously went from homeless to billionaire, and he knows what he's talking about. And when he teaches how to set goals, then that is one of the key things. So let's proceed. Now, after I've been able to acquire uh, or after I had some success, I was able to take 500K and buy a certain amount of coins, and that allowed me to get into a group. And within that group, we were able to get access to private sales. Private sales, it has been doing great since we got started. Now, not every private sale is going to actually do 100x, 10x, etc. But on average, they have been doing us well up until now. But I wanted to have more access to it. And as a result, what I've done is I've, in fact, that portfolio have grown from 500K to over 2 million. And about 34 of us have a portfolio in this specific coin of more than 2 million. And as a result, we get access to these private sales. Now, what are these private sales? So suppose it is in private sale, and we get access to a coin for one hand. So what it means is, a private sale, the public doesn't know about it. So it's only the fact that I'm within that group of 110 people throughout the world. I'm able to get access to it, and as a result, I'm able to buy in. But if you're a member and if you're part of the inner circle, then you obviously also get access to it. So now when it is in pre-sale, so that is when we tell influencers about it, and we give them access to it. So let's say they buy in at 5 rand per coin. And when it launched to the public, when others see it on YouTube and all of those kind of things, so then they buy it for 10 rand, then we are able to then take profit. Sometimes it's a waiting game. You need to wait for the high time to take profit, etc. Sometimes it is vested for, let's say, a year or so, but each private sale is different. So if all goes well and it gets listed on an exchange, let's say in a year or two, and adoption takes place and it goes to 50, then you can just imagine what your portfolio looks like. Now, all of those people, they use this specific strategy, the TRD strategy. They look at the team that launches this private sale or launch this token, whether it's a token, whether it is a coin, whether it is a meme coin, whether it is AI, it doesn't matter. You always look at who is the team. Do they have a track record? In terms of what have they done in the past? Do they have the resources to deliver? Obviously, when it comes to memes, then generally there wouldn't actually be any utility. Yeah, but it's always good to obviously look at the fact that who's the team that is launching this. And there is definitely a demand for AI at this point of time. There's demand for, there's always a demand for a private sale, because a private sale could be in an AI project as well, or in a gaming project. So, or within a specific meme coin. But it is often hard to actually find a good meme coin, because yeah, they don't need to have any resources. Look like the one Trump has just launched, and yeah, how well it did out of the gate. So and that is basically just because of his status. So, but what we can but what's actually going at this point of time is DeFi. It's basically decentralized finance. So decentralized finance is where you are able to lend and borrow. Obviously, maybe you don't want to be the lender, but yeah, when you borrow or you stake, it's the same as when you are actually going to the bank and you are saving your money. And guys, that is obviously not investing, when with the bank, because I mean the money is laying there, maybe generating 7% per annum, but yeah, in a year's time from now, let's say you took 1,000 to the bank, and the bank gives you 7%. In a year's time from now, you have 1,070. You can buy less in a year from now that you could have bought worth your 1,000. So even though you have a bit more rands or dollars or pounds, but the buying power is much lower. I'm referring to buying a specific stock or specific coin. Like for instance, this one private sale, this coin, it when we invest into the private sale, then it took some time, but it went up more than 100x. Now, put an amount, think of an amount that you are comfortable with putting into your portfolio. Now that you have that amount, this private sale, it went up with more than 100x. So that amount that you have in your mind, put the one zero behind it and another zero. And that is how many of the members have been able to generate hundreds of thousands. Some that you have seen in the testimonials that have generated millions. Many of them were also invested into that one private sale. So this one has proven themselves to us already. So DeFi, this is how it works. So this one project, when you stake it, it's like I said, it's the same as with a bank. It will be within your wallet, and you are unable to actually take it out. Not that you are unable to take it out, but you say, you know what, you're going to leave it for a year. So for the year, this specific coin, when you do it, you will get 167% more coins. That is not the growth in value, that is just the quantity of the coins. So I made an example. So let's say you take 50,000 and you stake it, and the value of this coin stays the same. So let's say for 50,000 rand, you got 50,000 tokens. because it's 100 token. But now you're getting 167% more. So that 50,000 tokens plus that 167% of those tokens. So now you have 133,500 tokens. That is without the value going up. So that is just staking it for that duration of the time. Should the APY stay the same and the value of the coin stays the same. Now, this specific coin was up more than 250% a year ago, and currently the income is more than 10 times it was a year ago. So in my opinion, it's only a matter of time when this coin will go up more than 250%. And when that happens, if this increase by 250%, is it almost on 500,000, 467,250, and that is basically worth a starting of 50K. Now I just put 50K there, not that one needs to start there. So remember I said I'm going to answer on this call how much one can get started with. I got started back in the day with 1,000. I think a sweet spot to get started now is around about 5,000, but one can still start with over 2,000 or so. So depending on where you're finding yourself. Obviously, there are many of our members who are starting off with hundreds of thousands because they're in that position already. So depending on where you're finding yourself, yeah, you can decide. Okay, so meme coins. Meme coins are obviously they're having their best time now, and yeah, so going forward we're gonna see some nice growth in it. When Trump has launched these meme coins, so I'm not doing business from Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, and by the time on the Saturday evening when I saw the coin, it was already up more than 600%. And as we can see here, this coin went up 733%. Those people who obviously got in right at the bottom. So it's not at the top anymore, but that is basically what it has done. Then AI, if you get your hands on the right ones. I just made a screenshot about the top 5 AI coins, but it's not to say that the top 5 are actually going to give you the best results because of the fact that, like I've shared earlier, we look at the strategy in terms of TRD, team, resources, and demand. So there's definitely a demand for AI. Everywhere you see AI is taking over all the industries. And don't be naive to say that, you know what, AI cannot replace you. In fact, be smart and rather invest into the artificial intelligence. And when it replaces you, you have invested into it and it's generating money, and then you have time freedom because you still have an income. If you guys get that, please put a 7 in the comments. So earlier on, I didn't put the website there, but for those of you, I know many of you have read my book. So my book you can find on nms.academy/full book. I'm going to give you a few seconds to write down that website. That is where you can get a copy of my book. I have so many people that reach out to me that have been following me for many years, and they tell me, you know what, I got scammed year and year and year. So I ask them, so how did it happen? And then I find out, you know what, the person actually didn't know what they were actually doing. And when I suggest that they actually get a copy of the book to learn how they can do it on their own, then they are not willing to do it. So it boggles my mind how someone is willing to invest 5,000 rand, not knowing what they are doing, but they're not willing to learn because I believe in all spheres that you first need to learn before you earn. So it's important that one actually wants to learn. So the book explains in detail how you can keep your capital safe, what is capital actually, how do you buy it, and all of those kind of things. Then obviously there's the course where it explains to you in detail um, where to click, etc. So step by step. So remember what I said earlier. It's either you sacrifice for a few years and do this, or you stand the chance to actually struggle for a lifetime. I was 26 years, 27 years old, around about when I actually got started in this industry. And I knew that, you know what, I've been failing since I finished school 10 years ago. That was at the time. Currently, I've done with school 20 years ago. But 10 years ago, I looked at my life and I said, for 10 years, um, yes, I'm grateful for what God has done for me, but I'm not getting closer to my goals. In fact, the bridge between or the the space between the rich and the poor is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Why? Because the rich are constantly buying assets, and these assets keeps on increasing in value, and soon enough, people won't actually be able to bridge that gap. So then once you have the book, or you decide, you know what, I'm going to go straight and join the inner circle. The inner circle is, you can join the inner circle when going to this website. Support will put it there again. So it's a longer link maybe, but that takes you directly to our online school, and where you have access to different courses, and obviously to the community. And we have a inner circle WhatsApp group where you're able to obviously be updated on a daily basis, and as well as have access to our bi-weekly training. But because there's so much happening in the market at this point of time, we are having training on a weekly basis. Once per week, on a Monday night, we have our call. If you are not able to make it, you obviously get the recording, so you can always stay updated. So, but in the inner circle, like I said, there are many different courses that you can that you have access to. So, yeah, that is obviously for the inner circle members. Now, if you have any questions, then you can ask them at this point of time. But chances are that you are going to maybe think of something that you had to ask um, when we are off the call, and you remember I didn't ask this or that. So write down that number that you see in front of you. That is support's number, and that is my team that is actually assisting me on this journey. So write it down, make sure that you have it, save it on your phone. So yeah, whenever you have a question, you can obviously ask the question. So at this point of time, please in the chat ask some questions. Share. So let me allow you in the chat. What's your take on? Okay, so BDEC, that is a scam coin, right? BNB is back at has recently set an all-time high. So BNB is solid, it's Binance's coin. So Solana, yeah, so Solana went to over 300. It's back at 200 odd, so it still has some growth left. ADA, there's some good potential. There's SUI as well. RWA, I have not done any research on RWA. When you can expect the next private sale. So there's actually a private sale that is launching in next month, and there's another private sale launching the month after that. So yeah. So Super, being building their own blockchain, their own wallet, etc. So Super has some big potential, and at this point of time, it's still early days. Back in the day one BNB used to cost less than $1. Today, one BNB is over $500. In fact, a few weeks ago, it was over $700. So that is a whopping 700%. So not even 700%, 7,000%. So at the end of the day, it's important that one actually realize, you know what, when you are early in, you want to actually be holding it and making sure that you actually hide the wave out. Some people are asking updates on specific coins here as well. So please direct that questions to support. So Okay, so remember when you join the inner circle, so what we are doing at this point of time, so when you join the inner circle, and for as long as you are part of the inner circle, you get 10% of that amount. It's like around about 900 Rand to join it, and then you get 10% of that in tokens, which has the potential to actually also increase. So yeah, there we go. Guys, please, people are asking um, updates on coins. This is not a members training. That's what we do on a weekly basis. But this is basically a explanation or an introduction to cryptocurrencies. If you are members, direct that to support or yeah. Yes, Clyde, that is a question for another platform. Okay, everyone. If there aren't any questions at this point of time, thank you so much for tuning in, and we are looking forward to seeing you in the inner circle. Thank you so much.